Been a bit of to and froing about what is a commercial vehicle and what is a company car. So I want to look at what the rules are, how they sort of changed and changed back again, and then look at what are efficient ways of owning vehicles if you've got a limited company, and then go on to how that might change if you've got a partnership or a sole trade. I do regular updates on tax and accounting issues, so if you'd like to be kept up to date, then please subscribe to the channel, and if you press the like button it helps me and the channel, so please do that. So what is a commercial vehicle? Well, in the past the rule has been that if you can put a ton on the back of it, then it's a commercial vehicle, and if you can't put a ton on the back of it, it's not a commercial vehicle. It's a nice simple rule, which means that a transit van, you can definitely put a ton on, no problem, whereas vehicles that look quite like commercial vehicles you can't put a ton on. 2 weeks ago the rules sort of changed, and they said that those vans with 2 rows of seats, so pickup trucks or transit vans with 2 rows of seats, then inherently they said they are more like cars, and they were going to tax them like cars. So the revenue really wanted to do this, they wrote it all down, it was on the revenue website. And then just this week, so we're in the middle of February, just this week the government, obviously the politicians saw it and realised, oh, this affects our voters. So they've completely reversed it, and they said no, we're going to bring, although that change was as a result of case law, we're going to bring in legislation to make sure that there is no change. So the big change on this video is that there's no change, that the rule on commercial vehicles is that if you can put a ton on the back, then it's a commercial vehicle. You can't, then it's not. Don't forget that if you've got pickup trucks with a hood, you've got to be careful that the payload has to be a ton, so it's got a hood that could eat into the payroll and mean that it doesn't qualify. Why does it matter? It matters because commercial vehicles, you can claim back the VAT on the purchase price, they're taxed more likely as a benefit in kind, and altogether commercial vehicles are good things in terms of tax efficiency, whereas cars, general cars, normal cars, are actually very heavily taxed, and that's why accountants like me get animated about this. So what to do if you want a car? The trouble with pickup trucks and big commercial vehicles is that people don't like going out with their partners at the weekend with one of those. They want something a little bit cooler. So a lot of people want something like that, and the answer then very often is electric cars, because electric cars are still very tax efficient. There's a small benefit in kind, but you get all the costs of the actual buying the car written off. You do need to be careful about the lease. So some leases are taxed differently to others. So if it's a hire, if the lease looks more like a hire where you hand the car back at the end of the lease, and that's how it's structured, then it is taxed differently, and actually not quite as well as if it's effectively ownership, so an HP agreement or something where you're expected, the lease is such that it's structured that it's commercially sensible to buy it at the end. It is actually quite nuanced, so if you want some help on that, then please let us know. So electric cars in limited companies, great. I think it's also worth looking at, it's always been the case that for most people, for normal cars, that's fossil fuel cars or even non-plug-in hybrids, then you're actually normally better off, depending on the exact circumstances and how many business miles you do, but generally you're better off in a sole trade or an LLP rather than a limited company. Now, the rules on the tax of companies and LLPs have changed, so the tax on LLPs and sole trades has gone down and the tax on companies has gone up. And then if you've got a normal car, particularly if it's an expensive one, it might actually tip the balance as to how you want to structure your business. It does seem a little bit it feels like a big thing really, to change the whole structure of your business just so you can get a nice BMW or something through the company or through the business. But you know, it might be what you want to do. So it might be worth just looking at the structure, because as I say, if you're going to take all the profits out of your business and not leave cash in it, then a sole trade or an LLP might be the right thing for you. So there we are, company cars. It's always an important issue because they're expensive, you spend a lot of money on them, and therefore the tax treatment is important. We have a sort of hokey cokey with commercial vehicles where they sort of change their minds and changed it back again very quickly when they realise the political implications. Electric cars remain good, and just think about the structure of the business if you've got an ordinary car. So I do regular updates on tax and accounting issues. If you'd like to be kept up to date, please subscribe to the channel. If you press the like button, it helps me and the channel, so thank you for doing that.